let's face it, no man wants to experience hair loss unless you're trying to achieve a hypermasculine look, such as Dwayne Johnson, Mike Tyson. Then you will probably accept hair loss. So obviously, hair loss can be caused by multiple different factors. You know, elevated DHT and prolactin, friction alopecia, or male pattern baldness, which is DHT and prolactin levels. So these are a few things that you can use early on to prevent hair loss. Now, I'm in my early 20s, so I'm starting to use these practices now, so that way I have a better chance of preventing hair loss in the long run. So caffeine shampoo is going to decrease DHT, DHT being the main hormone that causes male pattern baldness. It will strengthen the hair follicle, and also there's evidence to show that it helps maintain the stem cell clusters in the scalp. Now, caffeine shampoo is most likely not effective for people that already have like severe balding, so use it as a preventative measure in your early 20s, even teens. So you want to leave it in your hair for 2 to 3 minutes to ensure it makes its way down into the hair follicle. No, you cannot just drink more caffeine, drink more coffee, energy drinks, because the amount of caffeine that makes it to your scalp through systematic ways is nowhere near the effectiveness of a external caffeine solution. So I use this caffeine shampoo once a week. More ideally, or what you'd want to do is get a caffeine serum that you can apply daily without washing it out. So one way to ensure that the caffeine is delivered into the hair follicle, and also this is another protocol to prevent hair loss by increasing blood flow, stem cell network, and there's also a whole load of other benefits, which would be dermastamping. So the ideal dermastamp length is a bit, there's a bit of a argument around which is the best length. So I use 1 mil for my scalp. I do this once a week, and then I use 0.75 for the rest of my face. So dermastamping can increase collagen, boost blood flow. It's by causing the trauma and inflammation to the dermal area that it causes a network of cells to come in and repair that inflammation, which is going to renew your skin in your face. Also, increasing blood flow to the dermal layer of the hair follicle is always going to be an ideal way of preventing that blood supply from cutting off to the hair follicle, which causes the thinning of the hair. So you use this once a week before you use your caffeine serum and the next thing that I'm about to talk about. So a little bonus method, and it's probably not the most ideal, as this can only increase blood flow during the process and a little bit after. Unlike certain things, they will increase blood flow around the clock, which is just a hair massage, a scalp massager. So this might not be the most effective protocol, but any little thing that you can use to prevent hair loss with minimal side effects, like doing this isn't going to cause any extreme side effects. So why not give it a go? While you apply your caffeine serum, massage it in with this while you're waiting 2 to 3 minutes. Do this once a day. It feels pretty nice too. So why not give that a go? So I have done some research on certain essential oils and natural ways to decrease hair loss and prevent it, and I came across rosemary oil. Now, there is research studies showing that rosemary oil can be as effective as 2% minoxidil. Now, if you don't know what minoxidil is, it's Rogaine. It's a pretty harsh drug. Alright, now it is pretty controversial. A lot of people can get side effects from it, and a lot of people don't. So rosemary oil can be a good natural alternative. Now you do need to, what's the word? You need to put it with another oil. So I use castor oil, which also has a lot of hair benefits. You know, it can help strengthen the hair, protect it from UV damage, and a lot of other pollutions in life that can cause damage to your hair. So mix a little bit of rosemary oil, a couple drops, with a decent amount of castor oil, and apply that to your hair. You can leave it in overnight, although you will have to wash your pillowcase, or you can just leave it in for 4 hours throughout the day. Do this like maybe once or twice a week, along with your caffeine serum and derma stamping protocol. These are some pretty maybe effective ways to prevent hair loss. Like I said, anything that can lead you into that direction of hair loss prevention, it's going to be worth it in the long run. So other simple ways to what not to do is, obviously, when you're drying your hair, get the towel and scruff it all up, and it's going to cause friction hair loss. Also, wearing a hat can be very bad for your hairline. As you're putting the hat on and taking it off, you're causing friction on your hairline. So that's what they call friction alopecia. So yeah, when your hair's wet, don't really play with it too much. Because when your hair's wet, it absorbs the water molecules and it causes the hair to become weaker. So yeah, just being careful and mindful of what you do with your hair can also pay off in the long run in hair loss prevention. So like I've already mentioned it, one thing that is pretty controversial is minoxidil. I don't use this. This is not mine. It's someone else that I live with. This is theirs. Minoxidil is effective for hair loss prevention in the early stages. So minoxidil can have some nasty side effects, which include erectile dysfunction, low blood pressure, a certain thing that happens when you have an orgasm and the semen stays inside of you. I forget what that's called. So yeah, it's probably not the most ideal thing to use, especially in your early 20s. Maybe if you're like 40 years old and the hair loss is your hairline's starting to run this way, maybe it could be worth a trial. But I have to mention that the hair that you maintain or gain with minoxidil will only stick around if you continue to use minoxidil. So the choice to use minoxidil will be a choice that you have to make for the rest of your life. Now, there's also other things, finasteride, dutasteride. We're not going to talk about that today, but these are other options. Be wary of them. It might not be the best option if you have all these other natural alternatives that you can start to use in your early years. Now, worst comes to worst, you've tried everything. There's other oils that you can use, pumpkin seed oil, etc. If you've tried everything and your hairline's still running to the back, then you can always go get a hair transplant. Worst comes to worst, and I've tried every method. I'm in my 40s, 30s even, and my hairline's back here. I'm going straight to Turkey. I'm getting a hair transplant. So either way, hair loss prevention is guaranteed with all these methods, and worst comes to worst, a hair transplant. Everyone looks better with a full head of hair. Could you imagine being 80 years old, getting around, full head of hair? You might notice around you in public, old people with a full head of hair, they just look so much more youthful, and who doesn't want a full head of hair? Anyways, if you're in your early 20s and you're concerned about hair loss, give these methods a go. This is like $15 Australian, 10, it was like 5. derma stamp. I got this for like $40 online, although you do have to replace these after a while as the needles don't become as sharp and it's more of like a blunt force penetrating your skin. I do recommend a stamp over a roller, as when you use a derma roller over the hair follicle, it can actually cut your hair. You don't want that. You want to maintain as much hair as possible. Remember also, don't scruff your hair up with a towel while it's wet, and give one of these a go. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope some of these tips are helpful for you. See you in the next one.